Welcome and welcome back to Minecraft. So you've just created a new world in Minecraft Survival. Fantastic. It's very exciting. But now what do you do? Where do you go? What do you do after that? I mean, you want to kill the Ender Dragon, don't we all? But that lies far ahead. And killing the Ender Dragon is also just another beginning. It's not an end in itself. Consider this. If you want to kill the Ender Dragon, you need to activate an end portal. And to activate an end portal, you need to find a stronghold. But to find a stronghold, you need to craft an Eye of Ender. Actually, more than one. And to craft an Eye of Ender, you need to kill not only an Enderman, but also a Blaze. And to do that, you need to get to the Nether. And for that, you need a Nether portal, which means you need obsidian, and so on, all the way to today. That's what this series is all about. I intend to have as much fun as possible while I document, in a straight line by the shortest route possible, how to progress step by step in Minecraft Survival. I'll explain what we're doing and why, and I'll move things along from day one. That's the cool part. You can do your own thing and come back if you need to, or just follow along. Well, we're back at the new den, but not for long. We've got a lot of preparation to do before we finally face the Ender Dragon. If you've been following this series, you'll know that I've been on a mission to document, yes, in a straight line by the shortest route possible, how to progress step by step in Minecraft Survival. We've achieved all the steps outlined in the introduction. We've made obsidian and constructed a nether portal. We've crossed into the nether and killed not only an enderman, but also a blaze. We've crafted an Eye of Ender, actually more than one, and we found not only a stronghold, but an end portal as well. The next step is to activate it and go through it to fight the Ender Dragon. So what do we need to do before we enter the end portal? Quite a few things. I've created a chest and I'll place it near the end portal room. I'll load it up with useful resources I'll need for the fight. The dragon chest, yes. Dying is definitely on the cards, so I'll need extra armor, lots of food, bows, arrows and swords, among many other things. I'll also want a bed next to the chest, so let me get on it. We'll meet back here and I'll show you what I've done. The first thing I did was tunnel back up to the surface. I wanted a quick and easy way to do more hunting and gathering. I also wanted to explore the village and, most importantly, have a look in the ruined portal chest. The chest had a few blocks of obsidian, and score one for me, a golden apple. There were also some iron nuggets and an enchanted golden axe, which I'll use up harvesting trees. There's also one block of gold, which will come in handy because I also harvested a carrot and used the skeleton bones to make more. I can use the gold to make golden carrots or more golden apples. I've yet to decide. The Sharpness 3 golden axe, once deployed, was super fast, if not super strong. It went through the trees like a hot knife through butter. More wood equals more resources, and we'll need plenty of resources for our fight with the Ender Dragon. I've also picked up some melon seeds in the village, and once again I used the skeleton bones to make bone meal, which I used to accelerate some melon plants. I also deployed the buckets to ensure the melons had plenty of water. Now I was ready and able to start a simple chicken farm. I used some of the wood harvested with a golden pickaxe to make an enclosure and lured 2 chickens into it using melon seeds. When you feed adults, you get a baby, so I soon had plenty of chickens. I wasn't actually after food. No, my plan was more arrows. Harvesting chickens does generate food, but the feathers and XP were far more valuable right now. Using the fortune pickaxe on gravel once more produced flint, so now I know I'll have plenty of arrows on hand when I fight the Ender Dragon, which brought me to bows. I'm sure I remember crafting string out of cobwebs, but something has changed, so I just draped the cobwebs in the new den and harvested them with my sword. I still got enough string for a couple of bows, so no problem. Let me know in the comments if you still know a way of using cobwebs to craft string. I couldn't do it with a crafting table. The next thing I did was tunnel down in the opposite direction. Yes, I tunneled down from the new den to bedrock in search of more diamonds. I used all the diamonds to craft swords and armor, and a pickaxe or 2 as well. Just before I go through the end portal, I'll enchant as much as I can. If I die, there'll be armor and weapons waiting for me. Next on the agenda was preparing the end portal room. That involved destroying the silverfish spawner and placing an Eye of Ender in each vacant end portal frame. It's very rare to find an end portal with no eyes in place. Luckily, I brought enough for everyone. I saved the last one for just before I go through. It was quite a moment. I mean, now I was more or less ready to face the dragon. Except, yes, you've guessed it. I was thinking about potions and wanted to go back to the nether. So I cleared out some space and constructed a new nether portal. I wasn't exactly sure what would happen when I went through it though. In some other worlds, I've popped out where an old portal exited in the nether, so I wasn't sure if I wouldn't end up near the den. But there was only one way to find out. Now, I definitely don't know exactly why what happened next, but you can bet I wasn't expecting it. It wasn't part of the script. I had problems immediately in getting through, but I thought it was maybe just a glitch. Eventually I exited in the nether and I was happy that it was in a new place, so I set about securing the portal. Once that was done, I re-entered the portal expecting to be back in the new den. Instead, after a long time trying to get out, I exited in the sky and fell into the sea. Thank goodness, otherwise I would have died. What? What's going on? I found myself on a small island. No wood or other basic resources in sight. I was marooned. I needed to assess and figure out a plan of action. I explored the island from one end to the other and I scanned the sky. I must have fallen from somewhere after all. I spotted something which I'm sure wasn't a cloud. What to do? I was sorely tempted to build up and see exactly where I fell out of the sky, but I also had to consider getting off the island. Looking at my inventory was reassuring. I had plenty of food and two nearly brand new pickaxes. When I examined my coordinates, I realized I was about 200 blocks from the new den in both directions, about 50 blocks too high. I decided the best course of action was to tunnel out and then, maybe, return and build up and see if there were any clues in the sky as to what happened. First things first, I had to make sure I was still in the same world. A brave new world indeed. Well, I'm not going to bore you with a blow-by-blow account of the tunneling. Needless to say, I hit a few obstacles, mainly water, but I homed in on the stronghold coordinates and was pleasantly surprised to find myself in the end portal room, so things were more or less back on track. What a frustrating moment. I was torn in three directions. Firstly, I wanted to get into the nether and find another nether fortress and some nether wart so I could craft potions for the battle with the Ender Dragon. But that option was extremely problematic, as you've seen. I also wanted to return to the island through the new tunnel and go see what the strange thing in the sky was, possibly where I fell from. That route was risky. If I died, I'd lose all my XP and possibly all my armor and weapons as well. Thirdly, I wanted to stay true to my mission in the Brave New World and cross through the end portal to face the dragon. Shortest route possible. What a dilemma.